Okay, well, Mr. Keki Mistry, the Vice Chairman and CEO of HDFC, is with us on the phone line. Mr. Mistry, for the benefit of our viewers, let me once again read out the CLSA report for which we have invited you. CLSA has argued that India's gross fixed capital formation continuously fell from 2011 from 34% to 28%, but it has risen by 1% in the last one quarter. And some of it is because of a rise in household gross fixed capital formation. As a percentage of GDP, it has increased from 9.4% in FY16 to 10.3% in FY18. So the argument seems to be that as the construction of houses increases, the gross fixed capital formation will improve. Mr. Mistry, good morning to you. What is your, outlook, or what is your observation of the extent of housing demand in the past 6 months? Are you seeing an improvement in demand?
See, I think the structural demand for housing has continued to remain strong. It's just that you see the number of projects which are under construction now is much more than the number of projects which were under construction, let's say, 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And therefore, the customer, the home buyer, has a much wider choice of projects which he can choose from. And that is possibly one of the reasons, because of the sheer amount of supply in the market, that you're seeing so much of unsold property. Otherwise, if you see most of the lenders, most of the housing finance companies, the banks have shown reasonably good growth in the demand for in housing loans.
Okay. Mr. Mistry, good morning and thank you for joining us. You know, there are many government policies or initiatives that were announced recently, whether it's cutting of the headline GST rate on under construction properties, extending tax breaks for affordable housing. Although these are supportive, do you think any of these will make a difference to improve sentiment?
I think the GST one, the subsidy for housing is a pretty old one. It's a 1.5-year-old policy. I think it's a very, very good policy. The number of beneficiaries under this have been many. About 20-odd% of the customers who take loans from HDFC become eligible for the subsidy. So I think that has been a great success. But the new one, the GST one that you are talking about, I think that could be a bit of a game changer, because with a GST rate of 12%, it was pushing house prices higher, and a lot of people were hesitating buying a property at that point of time. Mm-hmm. Now with a reduction or a proposed reduction in the GST rate from 12 to 5%, more customers would come to the market, because they would now know that there is no further scope for GST rates to come down. All this while some people were holding on to purchasing a house in the expectation that GST rate would come down, and therefore the cost of buying the house for them would also be lower.
Okay. Well, let me come back to the CLSA report for which we invited you, Mr. Mistry. Their argument is that the nation's capital formation fell because Indians were investing less in homes. But now the overall capital formation number itself has moved up. Logically, therefore, the Indian households' investment in homes should have risen. Are you seeing that secular pattern that, investment in homes were falling, probably up until FY17, but starting FY18, people are looking more at investment in homes? Across the country, is that a feel you get?
I would say it's not investment in homes. Investment is a very broad word. Investment has two meanings. One is people buying a house because they need a house to stay in, and that demand has been strong, and has been strong now, I would say, for the last couple of years.
Okay.
The second category, which is people investing in a property as a second home or a third home or just an investment, that is very, very low. And that has been low for a very long time. People used to invest in real estate at one point of time years ago, but I think over the last 4 or 5 years, people's investment in real estate, investment as in buying second and third homes, has come down. But home buyers, genuine home buyers, people who are buying a house because they need a house to stay in, that number has kept going up. And that has also partly to do with the demographics in India. Okay. As we know, 2/3 of India's population is below 35 years of age. Mm-hmm. And the average age of a first-time home buyer is about 37, 38, maybe 39 years. And with 2/3 of the people being below 35 years, what it really means is that gradually over a period of time, as more and more people get to the age where they need to buy a house, you will see a structural increase in the demand for loans. And that is possibly one of the reasons why you're seeing this growth in the last couple of years.
And that is, in fact, showcased in the numbers as well. If you look at the quarter gone by, pre-sales for the 12 listed developers has gone up by almost 33%. So that point is taken that the housing cycle is seeing recovery. But, launches, real estate launches have taken a big hit because of how the liquidity has dried up. And I remember when that NBFC liquidity blow-up happened first 6 months ago, you were the first to tell us that, this problem is only going to snowball into a bigger issue. How is the situation on the ground now? Have things improved a lot?
Well, liquidity continues to remain reasonably tight. It was very bad in September generally for the market as a whole. I'm not talking with specific reference to real estate. Post-September, October, as all the commercial paper which was outstanding in the market got honored on time, confidence came back, money became available, though to some of the NBFCs, the weaker NBFCs, it became available at a higher rate. So cost of funding.
Oh, look at that. What happened? Okay, looks like we've lost the phone line.
Under construction property has been slower because of GST. People prefer to wait for the property to be completed before buying because then they don't end up paying GST. So a source of working capital that was available to developers is not available. So these are the two factors which has affected liquidity for developers. But whilst liquidity is tight, structurally the developers are in a strong spot because they continue to own real estate and the real estate has a lot of value.
Okay. Mr. Mistry, this call is playing hooky with us. We do want to continue this conversation, but maybe we will do a face-to-face chat sometime soon. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. So strong demand continues for first-time home buyers, but investment buying not at all there, completely off. We have to wind up bazaar on that note. The markets have been extremely volatile. So looks like Chartbusters is going to be a very interesting show today with ideas on the long and the short side. Thank you for watching, Bazaar.